Good morning, good afternoon and good evening, depending on where in the world you are. My name is Kate Swanson. I'm from UQ's Graduate School, and for the next few minutes I will be taking you through some of the reasons why you should decide to study at UQ with your PhD, for your PhD or Masters of Philosophy. There will be time for questions and answers at the end of the presentation, so please feel free to ask anything you would like to know about, and when I have finished, I would love to hear from you, and I'll go through the questions then and reply. If you don't get a chance to ask your question, I am going to be on a booth after this, and you can send me your questions then. So to tell you a little bit about UQ, we have 2,000 research experts in a number of different fields. We have around 4,000 research students studying PhDs or Masters of Philosophy, and 40% of those are international students from around 200 different countries. We have graduated 14,500 students from research degrees at UQ. We're a very well-ranked university. We're 43rd in the QS World University Rankings and 63rd in the Times Higher Education World University Rankings. And you'll see in a number of disciplines we're also very highly ranked. So it's important to ask yourself why you might do a research degree. It's very different for many people as to why they might do a coursework degree. Of course, there's always to progress your career. To become a specialist with an elite research skill set. And many of you may be very passionate and interested in research. It's also considered to be the pathway into teaching and research positions at universities. If you aren't interested in that academic side of doing a PhD, it is very important to consider perhaps industry links as part of your research to increase your job prospects when you finish. So I'd like to go over why a research higher degree is different to a postgraduate coursework degree. Research higher degrees are about trying to look at research and create independent research with guidance from research advisors. And at the end of your degree, you'll produce an original thesis that will contribute to the knowledge in that field around the world. Research degrees take around 3 to 3.5 years. PhDs take around 3 to 3.5 years. Masters of Philosophies take half that time at 1.5 years. International students do need to pay fees, but we do have some scholarships available. And the biggest difference perhaps between a research degree and a coursework degree is the fact that you'll be studying full-time. It's almost like full-time work. You'll be coming into your desk every day, doing some work on your research, and that's for 52 weeks a year. You do get 4 weeks holiday. At UQ, we try to provide students with a number of additional training or professional development workshops to assist them with their PhD studies. And we also provide with career skills training. So this provides you with a little bit of an idea of the areas that we provide training in. We help you with your research and writing. We help with presentation skills, with support and guidance, with how to format and present your thesis. There's commercialisation workshops, and UQ is quite well known for commercialisation, so we have our commercialisation arm presenting those workshops. And we do a lot of career skills training. So we run career strategy workshops, we run cross-cultural communication in the business environment workshops, we do networking breakfasts with industry, and a number of other programs to help you look at what your career is going to be like after you finish your research degree. And just to give you an idea, our UQ graduates, we have around 45% of our graduates employed in non-academic fields. So that means they might be working in research and development in industry, they might be working for governments, for NGOs, but they aren't in a higher education institution. 88% of our PhD graduates are employed full-time, and 100% of our Masters of Philosophy graduates are employed full-time or undertaking further study. So many of our Masters of Philosophy students do transfer into a PhD if they did not have the correct entry prerequisites for entry initially into the PhD. Some of you may have heard of our 3-minute thesis competition. This is a competition that's now run in about 18 countries around the world, I think in around 170 different institutions, but it was started at UQ, and it's a way we encourage students to develop some additional skills that they can take with them after their degree has finished. So it teaches you how to communicate your research to a general audience so that people can understand what you're doing, and it's limited to 3 minutes. It's a very prestigious competition. This year in our final we have the Chief Scientist of Queensland as one of the judges. We have internationally renowned scientists attending and a number of industry and government representatives as well. Our entry requirements, and we do have some exceptions to these rules, and it is important that you go to our website to check some of those further details. But generally speaking, to get into a PhD, you would need a bachelor's degree with honours class 2A or better, or a research master's degree, and like I said, other qualifications and experience can be considered. So the process to apply for a PhD. Sorry, we're just having some technical issues at the moment. Okay, ooh, here we go. Sorry about that. So it's important first to understand whether you want to do a PhD or an MPhil. So make sure you're familiar with the different requirements of those 2 degrees. Then I would suggest looking for a potential advisor. And the easy way to do that is to visit our researchers website where all of our advisors are listed, and you can type by the field that you're interested in and it will provide you with some suggestions. Once you have an idea of who you might like as your supervisor, you should submit an expression of interest form to the school or institute where that advisor is employed. So for example, if you're interested in studying geography and you find a geography supervisor, you should apply directly to the School of Geography, Planning and Environmental Management. They will then review your expression of interest and liaise with you to ensure they have the right documentation. If they think you are suitable to undertake a research degree at UQ, they will invite you to apply for admission and scholarship at UQ. You can only apply for admission if the school or institute supports your application. Once that has been submitted, you will need to wait for the outcomes of our scholarship round. So just to give you an idea, we have 3 scholarship rounds every year. These are this year's dates. We have not finalised the dates for 2015 yet. So our final round of the year really starts in October, and the final decisions and offers of scholarships are made after the 16th of December. So it's quite an involved process. It's very important, if you do want to apply for a scholarship at UQ, that you should be submitting your application for expression of interest form as early as possible before the scholarship round to ensure that the schools and the academics have enough time to review your application. So if you do have further questions, you can send your emails to uqadvantage@grandschool.uq.edu.au. Thank you. Are there any questions? I imagine a number of you are interested in scholarships. We do have the UQ International Scholarship for international students. It's a very competitive process. Around 1 in 5 students are successful in receiving those scholarships. And as I showed on the previous slide, we have set dates for those scholarships to be decided. We also have the Endeavour scholarships open at the moment, and those are closing soon, so it's important to make sure you're in contact with the schools or institutes now if you're planning to apply for those. So just a reminder that if you do want to apply for those scholarships, you should be submitting your expression of interest form as early as possible. I would say at least 2 months before those dates on the screen. It will just increase your chances. Also increasing your chances of receiving a scholarship would be to make sure you've documented your research strengths and experience, especially if you have any publications that will help with your scholarship application. So up next, we have Laura Hassett from Bell. She'll be with you soon. But if you do want to speak to me, I'm going to be in the faculty booth after this, and you're welcome to ask me any questions individually. Thank you.